You ever seen one of these? Do you have no clue how to use it? Oh, shit. This is called a ratchet strap, not a strap-on. This video is by special request by Shalom Grace. I'm a very busy person with my construction business and all, but I got a ladder up top that is already strapped down with some bungee cords, but I'll show you how to strap it down with a ratchet strap as well. She did request that I talk slowly and use small words. So without further ado, I will attempt to expound upon the practical utilization of this indispensable accoutrement in a rudimentary fashion, so that even you can understand. Alright, so from here on out, just to keep it simple, we're going to call this the ratchet side, we're going to call this the strap side. Now chances are, you probably stored it last time like this, just in a big mess. You got strap already wound up in the ratchet. What you want to do to start off with, pretty much every time, is you want to break this down into its two parts. Now the way you're gonna get there from here is, right here is a little release. So here's what you're gonna do. See, you got this little release right here, okay? What you're gonna do is you're gonna pull on that and you're gonna open it so it's more or less flat. So you're gonna pull on that and you're gonna make it go flat. Flatten it out, okay? You got this strap on this end, right? But you got two parts of it coming out of the ratchet, right? You see, you got the tail part and you got the hook part. What you want to do is you want to pull on the hook part.
I want to tear your hook off!
See?
I hate you, Mr. Hook!
What did I tell you, Speed? Little children love me.
So trace it back, start at the hook, okay? Trace it all the way back. Shouldn't be too hard to do that. Now, you got the hook side, you're just gonna pull on it. Okay, and give it a good tug because it's probably kind of stuck in there. Just go ahead and pull the whole way out. Now we got our two pieces. Boom, we got the ratchet with a little bit of strap and a hook on it, right? And then we got the other strap with just a hook on it and the tail end. To start off with, you're just gonna kind of lay it out. Just take the hook on the strap side, take it, and just put it over there. Then you take the ratchet side, you put the ratchet on this side. Just kind of lay it there. Now you're going to take the hook on your strap side and hook it somewhere secure over here. Pull it tight. Make sure that that hook is still hooked in. Now for this part, it definitely helps to have an extra set of hands. But if you're like me, you're a single lonely van lifer wandering the face of the planet without anybody to lend a hand. You don't have anybody, so you gotta figure out how to do it by yourself. Now we go to the ratchet side. If you notice, the ratchet is shaped like a V, more or less. Think of that as like an arrow. It's pointing down to your load, okay? You always want that pointing down. Just kind of set that there. Get your strap flat, and you can do this by taking like one hand and just hold it there. The other hand is pulling it through so that it remains oriented the way you want it to the whole time. Now take your ratchet side. You got it pointing down. I got that arrow pointing down, right? You're gonna take this tail end of the strap side. You're gonna feed it through that slot that's kind of hard to see, but you'll see it if you look at your ratchet strap. There's a little slot that goes through that spindle that goes through the center of the ratchet strap. But you're not gonna put it on top. You want that tail to go under it, not over it, okay? Just gonna go under it and just get it any which way you can into that slot. Take a second here. If you have to, you can remember that catch and release, this little catch here. Remember that little catch there? You can, if it's flat, it's not gonna let you, okay, it's not gonna let you operate it. But if you pull it, now you can operate it. And now you can kind of get that slot oriented down so that you can get the tail end of that strap up through it. All right, so you're gonna go up through it, but you're going to, again, this is pointing down. You're gonna feed this through, not through that slot, but through sort of like that gap in between the catch and the spindle, okay? So that now that's going to lay like that. You see that? This is the end that's going to be up against, touching the load. This is the end that you just fed through there, and that's going to be laying on top, just laying there, okay? So now you got it oriented correctly, arrow pointing down, pull that strap through, and if you did it correctly, you might have gotten it spun around a little bit. If you did it correctly, this part should be laying flat, okay? Now you're gonna kind of hold this so that that hook doesn't come out. And you're gonna take this hook and put it in a secure spot on this side. Now you're pulling that tail end through so that now this is nice and tight here, this is nice and tight here. Now you're ready to start ratcheting. Let's go for it. And you shouldn't have very much slack to ratchet. That's one key. People friggin', they have like tons of slack. Okay, they'll have like this much slack, and then they'll start ratcheting. You don't want to do that. You want to pull that tight. All right. Then and again, if that's like caught and you can't like ratchet it, that's because you have to pull the catch. Okay. Pull that. Now you can pull it back and start ratcheting. All right, now what's very important at the very end here, after you kind of tie this up somehow or other, make sure it's not flopping in the wind too much. Okay, just do whatever you can to get rid of that tail, more or less. What's very important, the very important last step, is you always pluck it like a guitar string and say, it ain't going nowhere. All right, hopefully that was clear as mud. Good luck. Never said I was a teacher. I don't get paid for this.